Hello there. Today I will show you how you can use version control on RPG Maker MZ. And the first question is obviously, what is version control? So most of you maybe know GitHub or something like that, and it's mostly used so you can save states of your project. So let's say you edit something here, and you're like, all right, I want to go back 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 steps and get it back to the other state. Then you can simply use version control for that. So in my case, I don't use GitHub. I use Tortoise HG Workbench. And the thing about this is, I know GitHub is more known, it's more common known, but I think this is easier to work with, even if you don't have experience with version control or something like that. So here we have the Tortoise HG Workbench. You can click on a folder here and click on new group to create a new group, like I did here for RPG Maker MZ repositories. And now you can go to File and New Repository, and after that you select your project folder, which in my case is called version control. You hit OK, and now you can hit create, and now you have your working directory here. So I want to drag it down here to my RPG Maker MZ folder, and now you can see if I click on working directory, it gets every file out of my project folder. So every single file gets listed here. And the cool thing is, whenever you made a change, it only saves the changes for where you also made the change. So if you change something about your game and the package JSON gets changed, it only saves the package JSON. So that means you can easier handle your project. You don't have to make backups from your project. You don't need to back up your whole project every time and waste a lot of space. It only, with version control, it only saves the changes you really made. So it won't touch other JSON files if you don't make a change on it. So first thing we need to do is doing an initial commit. So you listed all the files here, and you can simply select all and say this is my initial commit. And in my case, that means if I go back to the initial commit, it goes back to this state, what it is right here. Since I started a new project, the state is obviously a blank project. So now you can select everything here, give it a name. It's important. So what you can do is, whenever you are done with your work, if you made something that was really hard to do, or if you ended your day, and you can always do a commit, and say okay, I ended my work for the day, and I do a commit, and then you can go back to the changes you made. So what we do here now is an initial commit. So this is the first commit. So you click here on commit, then you click on add, and now it takes a bit of time, but not long, and it creates a list of all your files. And yeah, now you have to wait a bit. So this is your initial state. So this one here. And now let's say I made some changes. I want to add some water here. Let's pretend I made some really huge, really big changes. Or it doesn't have to be big changes, but just imagine it. Let's say I added water, I added some events, and of course I renamed this one to Patrick, and I added a new item, and hit OK. So now we hit save, that's important. And now you can see, if you click on working directory and refresh your file list, you can see that every change that the workbench here remembered or realized every change. And now we can see the actors got changed, of course, because I changed the actor's name. The items JSON got changed because I added an item, like you can see here. And I also edited the map. So of course it will be changed, shown as a change here. And the system JSON file is always here, and I am not 100% sure why it gets shown every time, but there were some changes, so you keep it. So you select all of them, and you can write down, yeah, you can describe it a bit. So I call it water update because we added water. So, and now you can further describe it. Added some water, created a few events, and like, so you really describe what you did there. Added an item. No, my goodness. Added an item and changed actor name. And now you hit commit. And now you can see that all those changes are stored in this commit. So if you make changes, like let's pretend I made this here and I made a mistake, and I think like, whoa, this is a lot of work to redo this, and let's say you don't want this anymore, and then you need to delete the item, you need to rename this, you need to put the water back or delete the map, or you have to delete all those events by hand. And let's imagine it was a really big map and you started it and you didn't like it, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's messed up. And now what you can do is easily go back to your commit before. So in my case, this is the initial commit. You can also do 3 or 4 steps, go back as far as you want. But in this case, I only have 2. So it's the water update and the initial commit. So if I hit update now, I can hit an update again. And now RPG Maker realizes that something got changed. When you hit yes, and you see it went back to my original state. And let's say now you went back to this state and you're like, no, maybe I use those changes, maybe I need those changes and I want to go back to this. So you can click on update, hit yes, and all your changes are back again. So this is really good to do if you, yeah, it's just way easier to manage your project like that. So if you made a mistake, you simply go back. You don't have to edit everything manually. And if you can see here, now for this, so it's called Patrick again, and this is called item again. And if I go back to my commit from before and hit yes, you can see the item doesn't exist. This is still called Rosa. And yeah, that's it